evening, everyone. My name is Sadia. I'm a business psychologist for 2 Health, and welcome to a series of free webinars run by 2 Health, which is an occupational health services provider. And we provide customized wellbeing solutions, awareness sessions like the one that you're attending today, and workplace needs assessments as well. And anything else we can tailor to your specific needs. So today's webinar aims to provide a quick whistle-stop tour and a brief overview of neurodiversity, its benefits, and what strategies you can use to create a more inclusive environment, as well as how to communicate more effectively. So before I continue, I do want to emphasize that these 30-minute webinars are free, and they are intended as introductory sessions only, aiming to provide a taste or a high-level overview of the topic at hand. So again, they are offered free of charge, and they are not intended to provide a comprehensive and exhaustive exploration of the subject matter. And if you are seeking more comprehensive and in-depth sessions, we do encourage you to get in touch, and there will be details of this at the end of the session. Okay, so welcome everyone again. I am delighted to have you here. I want to start by just defining the concept of neurodiversity. When we talk about neurodiversity, it's an umbrella term which aims to capture a number of learning and developmental difficulties, and it's defined as the concept that neurological differences such as ADHD, Dyspraxia, and others are the result of normal, natural variation in the human genome. So some of the terminology you may hear includes neurodiverse, neurodivergent, SPLD, so that stands for specific learning differences, or special educational needs and disabilities, and these are the terms that tend to be used in education. You may also hear neurodifference and neurodevelopmental. You may also hear neurotypical, so that would refer to somebody that is not neurodivergent. Now, the aim of neurodiversity is to embrace difference, but also recognize that some people who are neurodivergent will require extra support, and to move away from this medical model of abnormality or something that needs curing. These conditions that we will look at are lifelong conditions, and we're not looking to cure them, but they can be successfully managed. So what are some of the key conditions that fall under neurodiversity? Well, we have dyslexia, dyspraxia, also called developmental coordination disorder, Dyscalculia, ADHD, or autism spectrum condition, or autistic spectrum condition, or autism spectrum disorder, ASD or ASC, but I'll simply refer to it as autism. And all of these are also known as what we call hidden disabilities, and that's because they're not as obvious as a physical disability. All of these conditions are neurological or brain-based conditions, and that means that people with neurodivergent conditions will process information differently. And it has nothing to do with intelligence. The impact of these conditions can also vary from person to person and from day to day. So let's take a look at these conditions then. So we've got autism. And this is a condition that is characterized by difficulties in social interaction and communication, as well as restricted and repetitive patterns of behaviours, interests, or activities. So it is what we call a spectrum condition. That means that it can manifest in a wide range of challenges and severity levels. People can also have difficulties with their sensory sort of external environment, meaning that they can have sensory sensitivities. So things like sensitivities to light, touch, textures, or smells. Some of the workplace adjustments or accommodations that you can ask for, or if you're an employer, then something that you can accommodate for your employee, includes providing a structured routine, ensure that your communications are clear and not ambiguous so they can be understood and accessed by everyone. You also ask for a quiet and a private workspace, so that means that some of the sensory distractions can be minimized. So ensure that you do take a break regularly, and if there are any skills workshops that you can take advantage of or are available in your workplace, then ensure that you engage in those. Dyspraxia is where people can struggle with their reading, writing, spellings, as well as processing phonological information. So that's a sound of information. And some of the adjustments or accommodations that you can ask for includes that you try to use, where possible, a dyslexic friendly font. So this is anything that's 12 or more. So where the letters you can clearly differentiate between. So Calibri, Arial, Times New Roman are good, but there are some sort of dyslexia specific fonts, so something like Open Dyslexic, and that's usually a Microsoft add-on that you can download. You can also ask for extra time for your tasks. Usually 25% is allowed in education, and you can ask for extra time in the workplace as well. Ensure that where possible that you either provide assistive technology, so literacy support software, or ask for it. And if there are any training and mentoring opportunities, that you engage in those. And also, if possible, as an employer, try to offer accommodations for exams as well. Sometimes you might be expected to complete an exam on electronically, but for some people it might be better to have a physical copy, for example. Excuse me. So I want to talk a little bit about dyspraxia. So this is where people can struggle with their motor coordination. So that's a coordination of their larger and smaller muscle groups, as well as difficulties with planning and organisation. Some of the workplace accommodations can include ensuring that your instructions are clear and concise. You can also ask for extra time for tasks that involve your fine motor skills. Ensure that you are making use of assistive tools and equipment where possible. Minimize distractions, and maybe asking for or offering flexible work schedules. And also, if there are any opportunities for training and development, again, that you try to engage in those. Now, dyscalculia impacts a person's ability to understand and manipulate numbers, as well as understanding maths concepts, and difficulties with timekeeping and understanding money. Some workplace adjustments can help you in the workplace include speaking calculators. So these are calculators that read out the numbers as well as the operations. Any digital tools, so for example, measuring tools to help you measure spaces. Try to either present information visually, so maybe a bar chart or a pie chart, that can be helpful. And if there is any numerical information involved, again, ensure that your instructions are clear, or try to explain the numerical problem in words. Again, you can ask for extra time as well as additional training to help people to develop strategies to manage their challenges and build confidence in their abilities. To ADHD now. So ADHD is characterized by challenges in attention, so inattention or impulsivity, and difficulties focusing and concentrating. And some of the accommodations include things like noise cancelling headphones, flexibility in the work schedule, as well as breaking down tasks. So rather than having a large task to deal with, a deadline that's well into the future, ensure that tasks are broken down into smaller chunks with a more near-term deadline. You can also use the Pomodoro technique. So this is basically completing work in 25-minute intervals and then having a short break. Now, often the focus is on difficulty, but it is important to understand that neurodivergent individuals do have many strengths, like the ones that are shown here and also shown by research. Now, strengths of neurodivergent individuals can be particularly valuable in any industry. So, for example, some individuals may be very determined and empathetic or creative, and these are by no means exhaustive. There can be others as well. And the idea is that neurodiversity can bring a fresh perspective to your work or your work problems. And all of these strengths can be really, really valuable in looking at things from a different aspect or approaching problems and challenges in different ways. And all of this can again lead to innovative solutions. So by embracing neurodiversity and the strengths of neurodivergent individuals, all of this can lead to increased job satisfaction, improved productivity, as employees are better to utilise their strengths and work in an environment that is accommodating to their needs. And organisations that do embrace neurodiversity also gain a competitive advantage in many areas, including productivity, innovation, and culture and talent retention. So, why would you want to embrace neurodiversity in the workplace? Well, that's because neurodiverse teams often bring a diverse range of thought processes, which can lead to more creative problem solving and innovative solutions. Different perspectives of people can spark novel ideas. Now, neurodivergent individuals can often excel in specific areas such as deep analytical thinking, for example, and these skills can complement the strengths of neurotypical team members. Neurodiverse teams can excel at problem solving by approaching challenges from various angles. It's possible that they may have a talent for breaking down intricate tasks into more manageable components, and that can be very helpful. So, by fostering an inclusive environment that values neurodivergent teams, people can learn to work together more effectively and leveraging each member's strength and supporting the areas in which they find difficulty. To create a more inclusive workspace that supports and values neurodivergent individuals, these are some of the strategies that you can try. So ensure that you provide training to all employees about neurodiversity and the unique strengths and challenges of neurodivergent individuals. And this awareness can help to reduce stigma and foster understanding. Also, you can try flexible work arrangements such as adjustable work hours or remote work options to accommodate different needs and preferences. You can design the physical workspace with sensory sensitivities in mind, such as providing quiet areas or noise cancelling headphones, for instance, or natural lighting options. Establishing clear communication channels and expectations can help to minimize misunderstandings within the workplace. Always ensure that neurodivergent employees do feel comfortable seeking clarification when needed. So these are just the few of the strategies that can be utilized to help create a more inclusive workspace, trying to maximize the benefits of neurodiversity in a team organization. I've spoken a little bit about effective communication. Well, what is effective communication? Well, communication is one of, it is something that's essential to bridge the gap between neurodiverse and neurotypical team members. One of the things that you can do is to provide clear, concise, and explicit instructions that avoids vague or ambiguous language. You can also use visual aids or written materials to reinforce verbal communication. Encourage active listening by giving neurodivergent individuals the time they need to process information and to express themselves. Avoid interrupting and provide opportunities for them to also share their thoughts as well. Establish regular feedback sessions and check-ins to address any communication issues or concerns. You can do this by trying to create a safe space for open dialogue and constructive feedback. It's also important to recognise that effective communication may vary amongst team members. Tailor communication strategies to meet the specific needs and the preferences of neurodiverse individuals. So again, embracing neurodiversity involves recognising and celebrating the diverse range of cognitive differences, because it can lead to enhanced creativity and collaboration in the workplace. And, in addition to creating a culture of inclusion, it can include things like try to ensure that your recruitment strategies are neurodiverse friendly, as well as training, and then ensure that you do consider flexibility in your recruitment approaches as well as your training approaches as well. Again, we've spoken a little bit about communications and also a request system. So that is where people are able to ask questions freely or in their preferred mode of communication. Another thing that you can do is to set up employee resource groups. So that means that without having to approach their manager, they can reach out to this resource group and access any resources that they might find useful. Again, raise awareness and educate people as much as possible about neurodiversity, and as well as ensuring that you do approach the matter with empathy and understanding. Now, some of the support offered by 2Health includes coaching and co-coaching sessions, so we can coach people to try to be as productive as possible in the workplace, as well as coaching between the employee and the line manager. And this helps to understand each other's perspectives a little bit more. We also offer screening and diagnostic, as well as assistive technology training, so we can give advice on the kind of technology to use, as well as training on how to use this effectively. Awareness training, so we do offer sessions like this, but in a little bit more depth, and we can tailor any sort of training packages that you may be after for your employees. Now, change is on the horizon, and more organisations have embarked on a journey towards inclusivity by promoting diversity within their workplaces. Over the past decade, there has been a significant increase in the celebration of neurodiversity. You've got influential figures such as Richard Branson and Steve Jobs speaking out about neurodiversity, therefore highlighting its importance. And the idea is that their efforts have helped to build awareness, understanding, and neurodiversity. And I just want to say that people are multifaceted and they do not need to be defined by their thinking difference. So, in summary, embracing neurodiversity involves recognizing and celebrating the diverse range of cognitive and learning differences. Focusing on an individual's strengths can lead to enhanced creativity and collaboration in the workplace. So creating inclusive spaces, employing effective communication strategies, all of these are essential steps towards maximising the benefits of neurodiversity in your team or your organisation. So remember that creating an inclusive workspace entails a culture that welcomes diversity and ensures that every employee, regardless of their background, abilities, or their personal circumstances, feels valued and respected. And such an environment does encourage effective and open communication, as people are more likely to bring their unique perspectives and ideas to the table when they feel included and accepted. And inclusivity goes beyond just mere acceptance, but also it involves actively promoting diversity and providing equal opportunities for growth and advancement. And by prioritizing inclusivities, you as a colleague or an organization can harness the full potential of the workforce, which again leads to increased productivity, employee satisfaction, and a more positive corporate reputation. So hopefully today's, again, very brief webinar has given you a better idea of some of the struggles faced by those with neurodivergent conditions, as well as a few strategies to support those around you. Again, I just want to further emphasise that these are free webinars brought to you by 2Health and are only introductory in nature. If you would like more webinars for your organisations, then please do get in touch. And I'll give you those on the last slide. We do value feedback, so please feel free to leave some feedback on our Trustpilot page. And if you do wish to get in touch with us, you can do that via our social media platform. You may email us, visit our website, or reach out to us by calling us. So again, thank you so much for joining me here this morning, and I look forward to presenting more webinars to you. Thank you again.